Hey everyone, it's AJ from Pixelize, and today I want to talk about CSS animations. So there's two types of animations, transition and keyframes. So today we're going to talk about transitions. And then at the end, we're going to build a menu slider using just pure CSS, no JavaScript. Just to show you idea, it's not about styling the items, but actually explain it to you how it works. That's how I like to teach, not making things look pretty, because that doesn't teach you anything. You could learn yourself about the UI UX. But when it comes to the logic, that's what I prefer to do, focus and explain that. So at the moment, we just have this box. Obviously, it's just a simple div and a reset styles. Now, this sort of asterisk means universal reset. Okay, the font size set to 62.5%, which is 10 pixel works out. So if I'm using RAM, that would be 10 times 15, 150 pixels. So RAM is more of a dynamic value than absolute value, which is fixed value like pixels. You have to think of people using different devices and screen readers and accessibility as well. Okay, so let's start with the transition. So transition has different properties. Let me just list them for you. Let's put this. I got duration property background. See, I don't like this auto suggest. It annoys me. I need to turn that off. I'm going to explain what those transitions means. So, as we can see here, we want to transition the background. So, when it comes to transitions, you could either transition all properties that you want to transition or a specific property. It's recommended to list each individual property, then using the key or. That's because the way the memory works behind the scenes to calculate this. So the property we want to transition is background color. So we have a transition property, background color. Well, how long we want this transition to happen? For 2 seconds. What is the timing function? Which means how this transition will go. Will it start slow at the beginning and speed up at the end? Or do you have a way around? There's a different ways you could do this. There's a cubic Bezier that you could use and adjust it. Or you could use the default keywords like is in, out, and so on. Transition delay speaks for itself, whether you want to apply delay or not. So I'm going to remove the delay. And now I'm going to apply a hover effect on a box and change the background color to whatever that color is. And just like that, we have transitioned the background color. Now, I don't like this color because it's difficult to see. So we can see it takes 2 seconds to transition this. Obviously, we could make this 0.25 seconds, which would be a lot faster, right? But instead of naming all these transitions in one go, there's a shorthand which is called transition. Best is always the transition property, which in this case would be background color. Then duration comes first. Let's say 0.5 seconds this time. Timing function. And the last thing, if you want to delay, I would say, let's say delay would be 2 seconds, right? How long it would take. Now, the one thing you need to understand, whatever this value is, it's always going to be a duration. So if you put the delay first, that's going to be a duration because the first value of the time is always duration. The second value is delay. But we don't want to have a delay. Just like that, you could make hover effects and all the other stuff. Now, I'm going to show you something about the delay. So let's say I want to apply 2 seconds delay. So it will take 2 seconds, appeared, and then 2 seconds again to change. And then 2 seconds, But if you don't want to have a delay on hover, you can put transition delay 0 seconds. Now the only reason why this is happening is because we're doing the background color. But instantly it translates, and then it's going to wait 2 seconds and goes back. No delay. So if you don't want to have a delay at the beginning but at the end, you have to explicitly say this in a hover effect. Otherwise, this will implicitly apply into the hover state and non-hover state. But let's do a transition based on moving the object. Transform, translate, has affected pixels. What we need is position relative. Okay, we need to make sure we put transform. That's how you can list multiple properties. For 5 seconds, is in out, no delay. We only have a delay on the background. That goes jump sharply, doesn't it? There's no smooth transition. So let's do something different for a second, and let's fix this. We want to transform, misspelled it, that's right, transform. We have a smooth object moving, but because we have a background color, I'm going to transform that as well. You can see that's how you could apply effects like for button and hover effects. We could play around with this. You know, we could have a transform, let's say transform, translate. Let's move this a little bit from the top, an angle. Oh no, I don't want an angle. I want actually 100 pixels. You do have to explicitly as well add this value. Otherwise, it will cause you an error. I'm going to show you what I mean. So at the moment, it's 100% off. If I hover, it's going to go back all the way. You see? Maybe you want to have this effect. But if you want this to stay in the same position, make sure you leave it there. But what we could do is put transform origin bottom right, and we want to rotate minus 45 degrees. Or we could do the other way. And what the transform origin does, it picks the origin state. So because we have a bottom right, it picks the bottom. Obviously, I cannot hover over that, but it picks the bottom of the square here because that's bottom right, and from there it transforms the origin. So instead of being from the middle, from the center, like center, like you did, we have it from the bottom, and that's how it moves them. So that's how you could change origin as well, which it applies to button hover effects as well. But let's build the menu. So what we need is a header. Then we will probably need a, let's see. So I want to show you the checkbox. Okay, let's say have a navigation unordered list, and what we want to have here is the input of a checkbox, And let's say we have a H1 as a logo. That's what other one we have. We could have an I with the A. Okay, I messed this up. And let's put home. Just quickly about and contact. We have that here. So let's style this. So what we go first? For body, that's fine. Fine. Header. Min height. Let's put the other one back on color for a second. Okay. Display flex. Justify content. Space between. And a Y. We don't need a display flex here. We actually need a header nav display flex justify content space between and align items center, which is fine. Now what we need is just style the list. Bear with me. Now about how pretty it looks, but I want to show you how the transition will apply without JavaScript. So list style none. Display flex direction column gap. Why is this? This is why I don't like this auto stuff. I need to get rid of this lorem. Okay, that's fine. Now let's put font size to rem. And what we need, text decoration none. Okay, that's fine. Now, what you want to do is obviously make sure this is all nice and everything. So we got the structure. So what we're going to do is put in enough position relative. Also, we're going to make the UL position absolute. Okay. Top 0, right 0, height background color padding to them above everywhere. Oh. Let's say width, we're gonna put, that's fine, that's absolutely fine, that's the whole point of this. But what we're gonna do is transform, translate X 100%, just off the screen, all the way there. And what we need is overflow hidden. Also, we could apply visibility hidden, which means you cannot animate things on display none, but if it's visibility hidden, it basically means it's not taken out of the DOM, but it's hidden, so you cannot click it if it's anywhere on the screen. Now, if you have a display none, it means it takes out the DOM and you cannot animate it. We could do this, but I'm just going to take this out for now because it's not big, anything big. What I want is just give a space around this. So I take 2 rem everywhere. The logo, I do want to just add enough h1. Let's put font size 4 rem. Color white. Just gonna make this pixelized. Should have done this at the beginning. That doesn't matter. Okay, what we're gonna do next is just style that input, and I'm gonna show you how to style input just in case you ever want to style, and then we're gonna do the animation. So that's enough. Input type checkbox, appearance none, height 8 pixels, width 8 pixels, border radius border will be 1 pixel solid. Let's say black. Okay, we might need this bigger. 4 rem. See this. Okay, that makes this 2 rem as well. If you want to have like a SVG, you can do obviously with the background. That's how you sort of remove this default appearance styling, and then you can make your custom. But the whole point of this is not for me to make too much styling on this. I just want to make sure checked. You get a good cover on this black. So when we check, we know it's checked because it's going to be black. That means uncheck. Okay, let's just make this 2. Now let's animate the I forgot what's called now. The menu UL. So what we want to do in this, we want to put transition, transform, because that's what we want to animate. 0.5 second is in and out. Make sure I spell this correctly. Transform. You see this? It hides, okay? Now, possibly what I should have done is not have it on here, relative, but position relative on the body itself. And have an overflow hidden on the body. What also I want to do, because this is set to index, I think it's index 1, z index 1, we're going to make the input z index 40. And what we need to do, makes this position relative. Why is it not? We're going to figure this out in a second. So when we check this, we want to select the UL. Where's that squiggly thing? Oh, not that. This UL. I want to put transform translate x to 0. Okay. If I click this, that's how you can make a slider menu with CSS. Obviously, you have to style yourself everything. You know, don't look at this as my styling because it's awful. That way, you could do the styling yourself. Let me just quickly make this a bit bigger. what's the width? Just like that, you have a slider menu. So simple transitions can help you. You don't need to know how to do this complex animation stuff because I'll be honest, most of them are literally done through CSS. They are using keyframes. So keyframes are a little bit more difficult to cover, and I'll tell you why, because there's a lot more things to cover and takes a little bit more complexity. With transition, it's simple. Most of the time you go into use transitions more than keyframes. But yeah, if you want to ever build a slider menu, that's how you do it. Again, it's not about how pretty it looks, it's just understanding the logic. So let's run through the logic just before we wrap this up. Transitions allow you to transition a properties like background color, color itself, width, height, whatever property you have here, it will allow you to transition. You could have multiple properties listed by just comma separate them, as we have it here, and the background shows here. We just have a one, or you could use the keyword or. However, wouldn't recommend this because of the way the browser calculates this. So it's better to just name the property and list it out. You could have delays as well. Those typical transitions apply whether you add a class with JavaScript, or maybe using hover effect, or maybe using the active effect state. Whatever state you're using, transition can apply. It's important to understand that those animations are not always done by keyframes because it takes a lot of memory as well. It slows down the website. There's more subtle animations are done through transitions. Now, hopefully you understand the logic here. And as well, you sort of learn how to style the checkbox or input field or even radio buttons just to select and change the appearance. And then you could put your SVG over tick box or whatever you want. Hopefully you see what I mean by this animation through transitions. So again, you can see simple slider menu. No JavaScript, just pure CSS, checkbox, that's it. You could even have the appearance itself if you want. It will still work. Where's the appearance? Even if I hide this, somewhere here, I don't know where to click it because it is somewhere here. If we inspect it, obviously don't do this because that would be a stupid thing to do. Somewhere here. I mean, yeah. Let's have this box and then boom. So hopefully this helps you. If you want to create something cool animations, just look at people how they do it and just add transition to it. In the next video, I will try to cover the keyframes, and also soon I will be starting to cover a little bit more about programming, so JavaScript, Vue.js, PHP, and Laravel as well. So I'm slowly going to progress this into more development and understanding the logic. So if you're interested in learning, then subscribe and then, yeah, support the channel. So I'll see you on the next one.